last time we finished the first 4 kinds of karma. We have productive karma, supportive karma, obstructive karma, and destructive karma. So this time we go to the next group by order of ripening, by order of giving results. That means when there are these 4, and number 1 will give results first. If there are only 3 without the number 1, then number 2 will give results. And if there are only 2, then number 3 will give results, and so on. So the first one is called weighty karma. And the second, death proximate karma. Third, habitual karma. And fourth, reserve karma. Now, weighty karma. Weighty karma is the karma which is powerful, which is so bad or so wicked. And in the explanation of weighty karma, it is said here in the manual that it cannot be replaced by any other karma as the determinant of rebirth. Now these karmas give results as rebirth. Now weighty karma is so powerful that it cannot be replaced by any other karma as the determinant of rebirth. That means if there is a weighty karma, then it will certainly give results in the next life. Now, in one commentary, in the commentary to Abhidhammattha saṅgaha, it is said that this karma cannot be replaced by or cannot be prevented by another karma. But there are some teachers in Burma who think that it is not really true, because one weighty karma can replace another weighty karma. In that case, weighty karma can be replaced by another weighty karma, but not by another kind of death proximate karma or habitual karma or reserve karma. But by another weighty karma, it can be replaced. For example, weighty karma means, with regard to akusala, it is the 5 heinous crimes or sins, like killing one's own mother, one's own father, killing an arahant, causing blood to congeal in the body of the Buddha, and causing a schism, causing a division in the Sangha. Now, if a person has done all these 5, it's actually impossible to do all these 5. But if a person has done all these 5, then the last one has the priority. So when the last one has the priority and it gives results, then the others will not give results. In the same way, with regard to wholesome karma, weighty karma are those that are jhanas. So if you get jhanas, then the higher jhana will have priority over lower jhana in causing results. So with regard to that, this can be one weighty karma can be replaced by another weighty karma in determining the rebirth. But they cannot be replaced by any other karma, such as death proximate karma and so on. So on the unwholesome side, it is the 5 heinous crimes together with the fixed wrong view that denies the basis for morality. That means the wrong view that takes that there is no karma, there is no results of karma and so on. If someone were to develop the jhanas and later were to commit one of the heinous crimes, his good karma would be obliterated by the evil deed. Now, you all know about Devadatta. Devadatta was a Buddha's cousin, and he gained not only jhanas but supernormal powers. But he committed 2 of these 5 heinous crimes, causing blood to congeal in the body of the Buddha and causing schism in the Sangha. So, from the moment he decided to kill the Buddha, or to take the place of the Buddha, his supernormal powers disappeared. So although he once had those supernormal powers, since he committed 2 of these heinous crimes, he was reborn in a witty hell. So the supernormal powers cannot save him from being reborn in hell. Supernormal powers cannot make him reborn in the world of dramas. And if someone were first to commit one of the heinous crimes, he could not later reach a sublime or supramundane attainment. If someone has done one of these crimes, then he will not get jhana in that life, he will not get enlightenment in that life. And also you know King Ajatasattu. He killed his own father. So about 8 years before the death of the Buddha, he went to the Buddha and asked the Buddha to teach him the benefits of being a recluse. And Buddha taught him, Buddha spoke to him what is called Samanya Phala Sutta. Although he had all other conditions for reaching or stream entry or for becoming a Sotapanna, but because he had killed his own father, he could not attain Sotapanna. So when he left, Buddha said, if this king had not killed his own father, he would have become a Sotapanna on this seat. So if a person has done one of these crimes, he cannot expect to get jhanas in that life, or he cannot expect to get enlightenment in that life. So they are so powerful that no other karma can interfere with them. So on the wholesome side, they are jhanas and abhinyas, and on the unwholesome side, they are 5 heinous crimes. Now, among the 5, with regard to the causing the blood to congeal in the Buddha. Now here in the manual, the expression used is the wounding of a Buddha. So it can lead to misunderstanding. It is explained in the commentaries that the Buddha's physical body is invulnerable to cuts or wounds or whatever. So that means nobody can wound the Buddha, nobody can cut the skin of the Buddha against his will. So the commentary explained that by the effort of another person, Buddha's body cannot be cut and cannot draw blood. But the blood may collect in one place inside the body. So that is what is meant by wounding the Buddha here. Now, again, Devadatta, he tried to kill the Buddha. So while Buddha was walking on the Gijakuta hill, so he pushed on a big rock onto the Buddha. And the rock hit another rock, and the splinter of the rock hit the Buddha in his foot. In Burma, we say Buddha was hit on his big toe, but in the commentary it is not the word big toe is not used, just said the edge of the foot. So that means it can be the big toe or somewhere else. So when it happened, Buddha's skin was not cut, but there was blood congealed in it, and Buddha had pain. Now, when Buddha had pain, the physician Jivaka cut open that place and let the blood out. And that is said to be meritorious karma. I just said that Buddha cannot be cut, right? But here, Jivaka cut that wound or something like that, and then let the bad blood out. So the commentary said, by cutting the skin with a knife at the Buddha's wish, that means with his permission. So if he permits, if he gives permission, then his body can be cut. It is to let the blood, the congealed blood out. So Devadatta's act was a very grave offense or crime, but the physician Jivaka's act was meritorious karma. And then the last one is schism in the saṅgaha. I mean, causing the saṅgaha to be divided. And that can be done only by a monk. So you lay people don't have to worry about causing the schism in the saṅgaha, because it is not just dividing monks or say setting one group of monks against another, although that may also be a very grave offense, but not this offense. This offense can be done only by monks, because schism of the saṅgaha happens only when two groups of saṅgaha in one sīma. You know, sīma is a place where monks do acts of saṅgaha. Now, in one sīma, when monks perform their acts of saṅgaha, all monks must assemble in one place. So there should be no two groups apart from each other and doing karma. But here, this monk wanted to divide the Sangha, and so in this case there are two groups away from each other, and they do the Sangha Karma. They perform the act of Sangha at the same time. They do the Uposatha at the same time. So that is what constitutes schism of the Sangha, causing the schism in the Sangha. So only a monk can do that, and not lay people. And that is said to be also the most heinous of these 5 offenses. So if Devadatta did 2 of them, causing the blood to congeal in the Buddha and causing the schism in the Sangha. The next karma is death proximate karma. In Pali it is called asana karma. Asana means near or close. Here near means near death, close to death. This karma is a karma remembered or done shortly before death. A person may have done a good karma in the past, maybe years ago. But if he remembers that karma just before death, and that karma becomes a result-giving karma. Or sometimes that karma may be done just before death. Such a karma is called death proximate karma. And that is immediately prior to the last jhana process. That means immediately before the death thought process. So before that death thought process, there are thought processes going on and on and on. So during those moments, a karma may be remembered, and that karma give results in the next life, or a karma may be done. Now, I've told you about a hunter when he became old, his son made him a monk, and when he was about to die, the signs of hell appeared to him. So he was brought to the terrace of the shrine, Chidya, and then flowers were brought to him, and then he was made to offer flowers to the Buddha, to the shrine. And so that proximate karma changed his sign of destiny, and instead he saw the signs of good rebirth. So death proximate karma is very important in that it can determine the next rebirth, either good or bad. So even though a person may be good all his life, if he remembers something bad just before his death, if he does something just before his death, then that bad karma will get chance to give results. In the same way, if a person is bad all the time, but if he remembers some good karma in the past, or if he does some good karma just before death, then that karma becomes asana karma, death proximate karma, and it will get chance to give results. For this reason, in Buddhist countries, it is customary to remind a dying person of his good deeds, or to urge him to arouse good thoughts during the last moments of his life. So a person needs a good friends to create favorable conditions or circumstances so that he gets into a good mood and he remembers his good deeds, and so he could die with these thoughts. Now there are many stories. One was the king in Sri Lanka. See, when he was about to die, he was expecting his general to come to him. His general had become a monk, but he didn't show up yet. So he said, the general was with me when I was fighting and when I was winning battles. But now he knows that I'm going to lose in the battle with death. So he doesn't show up. So the general went to the king and then talked to him about the meritorious deeds the king had done in his past, in the past. So the king remembered all his meritorious deeds and he was in a good mood. And before he died, he said the general was as good a companion in battle, in ordinary battle, as in battle with death. And so he died peacefully. Now this is death proximate karma. Now please do not misunderstand this, that you can be wicked all your life and try to do just one good deed before you die, and then all your bad deeds will have no chance to give results. They will not have chance to give results in the immediate next life, but in life following, they will get chance to give results, either good or bad karma. Sometimes a person may be good all his life, but by some chance he had a bad thought just before death, and then he may be reborn in some woeful state. But he will not be there for a long time. He will get out of it soon. But the next life is bad because of that death proximate karma. The next in order of ripening is habitual karma, achinna karma. The habitual karma is that we do habitually, that we do every day, like meditating, studying, teaching, offering to the Buddha, offering to the monks, and so on. So this, when one habitually performs a deed, either good or bad, then it becomes powerful. In the absence of Vedic karma and a death proximate karma, this type of karma generally assumes the rebirth generative function. So when there is no Vedic karma and when there is no death proximate karma, then this habitual karma will give results or will generate the rebirth, say, in the next life. This habitual karma is also very important because sometimes habitual karma itself may become a death proximate karma. When one has been doing kusala habitually, then it follows that this habitual karma will present itself to the dying man. So habitual karma is as important as actually the death proximate karma. Now, in Visuddhimagga and in other commentaries by the Venerable Buddhaghosa, the order given is Vaiti karma, habitual karma, and death proximate karma. But in this manual, the order is different. Here, habitual karma, death proximate karma, and Vaiti karma, death proximate karma, and habitual karma. So there is a difference between these, the order of these two, death proximate and habitual. Now, the commentaries of the Abhidhammattha saṅgaha explains in this way. Habitual karma or ajina karma is a very powerful karma because it is done again and again, or habitual karma. But now when, let's say, there are cattle, so when the cattle are put in the, what do you call that, where the cattle are kept?
Corral.
What?
Corral.
I don't know that. Okay. So when they were put in the evening, say, an old ox may be the one who entered that last. So he would be close to the gate. But when in the evening the cattle were let out, he would be the first to get out of that place, simply because he was close to death. So in the same way, death proximate karma is actually not as powerful as habitual karma. But since it was done just before death, it gets the chance to give results. So that is why death proximate karma is given priority over habitual karma in the Abhidhammattha saṅgaha. The last one is reserve karma. The Pali word is katatta. Katatta means because it is done, it is called karma. So the karma that is not included in the three mentioned before is called a reserve karma. So a reserve karma is not weighty, not death proximate, not habitual, but some kind of karma, but which is potent enough to take on the role of generating rebirth. So which is strong enough to give results as rebirth. This type of karma becomes operative when there is no karma of the other three types to exercise this function. So when there are no other karmas, when there are no three other karmas, then this karma will give results. This karma can be the karma done in this life or in past lives. Not only in this life, but it can be the one that was done in past lives also. Sometimes we do meritorious deeds not seriously. Sometimes we do it lightly. So such karma may be called reserve karma. It's not weighty, not death proximated, not habitual, but just done with not much seriousness. So that kind of karma gets the chance to give results when there are no three other karmas. So this group is arranged according to the ripening of the karma, or according to karma giving results. So weighty karma, death proximate karma, habitual karma, and reserve karma. The next group is with respect to the time of taking effect, with respect to the time of giving results. Again, there are 4 kinds of karmas. You are all familiar with these 4 kinds, right? Immediately effective karma, subsequently effective karma, indefinitely effective karma, and defunct karma. The Pali word for the first is, you see in the guide, Abhidhammattha Vedaniya. So that means karma whose result is to be experienced in this life. Abhidhamma means in this life. Vedaniya means to be experienced. So a karma whose result is to be experienced in this life is called Abhidhamma Vedaniya karma. So it is translated as immediately effective karma. Immediately effective means effective in this life, not next moment, or not tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It may be immediate, say after some minutes, or it may be tomorrow or day after tomorrow, or it may be in this life. So this karma immediately effective means the karma that gives result in the same existence in which it is performed. And if does not give result in this life for lack of necessary conditions, it becomes defunct. Now, according to the Abhidhamma, of the 7 javanas in the javana process, the first javana moment, being the weakest of all, generates immediately effective karma. Now, you have already studied the thought processes. So normally in the thought process there are how many moments of javanas? 7 thought moments of javana. So among them, the first moment, the first javana, or karma at the moment of first javana, is immediately effective karma. And this immediately effective karma is said to be the weakest of all. Now, there are stories, especially in the Dhammapada. Somebody offers food to Mahakasapa, and then he became a rich man immediately. Isn't that a great result? Right? But in the books it is said that the result given by this immediately effective karma is, it's not great. Its result is rootless results. So as a result of this karma, when you have, say, riches, so when you see things, when you see the riches, then you will have kusala vipaka, right? And when you enjoy it, you will have kusala vipaka. And also the riches are also the results of this karma, not direct results, but they are also called results of this karma. So the immediately effective karma give results that are only ahetuka. Rupa is also called ahetuka. So it's not so great. Compare it with another result in the realm of devas. To be rich as a human being and to become a deva, which would you choose? To become a deva, right? So rebirth as a deva is much greater results than just becoming rich as a human being. So although in our eyes the result of immediately effective karma is great, but if we compare it with the result of the subsequently effective karma, it is not so great. So it is called the weakest of all, and so it can generate only the results in this life. Why is it called weakest? Yeah, because it has not asivana condition. Asivana means repetition. So 7 javanas, one javana is repeated 7 times, right? So the first one is not so, has not yet got any asivana condition from the preceding thought moment. Immediately before javana is what? Vattabana, right? So Vattabana and javana are different. Vattabana belongs to vipaka and javana belongs to kusala or akusala. So it does not get asivana condition from Vattabana. That is why it is called the weakest. But with the second, third, fourth and so on, they gain momentum. Because one is supported by another. So this, the first javana, karma or chetana at the first moment, at the moment of first javana, is said to be the weakest of all. Sometimes we would like to get results in this very life, right? So if we want to get results in this very life, our kusala must be done very, very systematically and also meet the necessary conditions. Now, in the Dhammapada we will find these conditions, like one must have good chetana, a very strong volition, and one wants the offerings one makes must be got by fair means or just means, and then the person who accepts it must have just emerged from say Nirodha Samapatti or Phala Samapatti and so on. Even when all these conditions are met, the result it gives is just ahetuka. Now the next one, subsequently effective karma. That means the karma whose result is experienced in the next life. If it is to ripen, it must yield its results in the existence immediately following that in which it is performed. So if the karma is done in this life, then it will give result in next life. Otherwise, it becomes defunct. So if it does not give in the next life, it is defunct. So it will not give a result at all. This type of karma is generated by the last jhana moment, seventh jhana moment in the jhana process, which is the second weakest in the series. Now, taking the seventh jhana as second weakest is the opinion of Lady Sayādaw. But there are other teachers who do not agree with him. There are teachers who said javanas gain momentum from first to second to third, and so seventh javana is the strongest. But Lady Sayādaw takes it to mean the first is not strong, the second a little strong, the third stronger, fourth strongest, and then downward, say fifth, sixth, seventh. So Lady Sayādaw takes that the seventh jhana is the second weakest. The first jhana is the first weakest, seventh jhana is the second weakest, and so in his opinion, only the 5 jhanas in between are the strongest. Now this karma gives results in the next life. If it is a good karma, say as a human being or as deva, and if it is akusala, then it gives results in woeful states. The third one is indefinitely effective karma. Aparapariya vedaniya. That means karma whose result is to be experienced in other lives. So this karma is a karma which can ripen at any time from the second future existence onwards, whenever it gains an opportunity to produce results. Now, it is important to note that here, from the second future existence onwards, because in many books you will just find in other lives or in other rebirths. But actually, the correct meaning to understand here is from the second future existence onwards. Let us call this life first life, and the next life second life, and then the one after the next third life. So in Burma we say indefinitely effective karma is the karma that gives results from the third to the end of samsara. In the commentary called Vibhavini, Abhidhammattha Vibhavini, which is the commentary of the Abhidhammattha saṅgaha, the word used is say from the this life, I mean from this life onwards or something like that. But that is not the case. So in the Tikas to Anguttara Nikaya and also in the Visuddhimagga Tika, it is expressly said that from the existence which is next to this life, that means this life, next life, and the other life. So it comes with the same thing. The second future existence onwards, or as we say, beginning with the third life until the end of samsara. Whenever it gains an opportunity to produce results. So during this time, from the third life to the end of samsara, at one time it will give results. Here also we must understand that it will not give results again and again all through this period. It will give just one time. It will give the result one time. And if it has given results, it's finished. No more results. So when we say it will give result from the second future existence onwards, means when it gets an opportunity, it will give result in this period of time, and then after giving results, it's finished. It will not give result again. And this karma generated by the 5 immediate jhana moments of the cognitive process never becomes defunct so long as the round of rebirth continues. So never becomes defunct means it has a potential to give result from the second future existence onwards. But once it has given results, then it's finished. It's defunct. So this is generated by the 5 intermediate jhana moments. That means second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth jhana moments. No one, not even a Buddha or an Arahant, is exempt from experiencing the results of indefinitely effective karma. Now Buddhas and Arahants have eradicated the 2 roots of existence, right? Craving and ignorance. Since craving and ignorance are destroyed, they do not acquire fresh karma. But they are not exempt from, they are not free from experiencing the results of their karma, good or bad karma in the past. That is why Buddhas and Arahants sometimes suffer from pain and so on. And also they experience the results of their good karma in the past. So this indefinitely effective karma is always with beings. Beings have this karma in store for them. So we as beings do sometimes good karma, sometimes bad karma, and the store of this good or bad karma is the one that gives results whenever it gets an opportunity, it gets the necessary conditions. That is why a person, a being who is reborn in 4 woeful states can come up to human realm again. Because as an animal or as a hell being, it is very, very difficult to get kusala. Although they may not get kusala there, or they may get very little kusala there, they can be reborn again as human beings or even as devas because of this store karma, because of this indefinitely effective karma, the store of indefinitely effective karma. So this store of karma is our hope. So the first karma will become defunct, which if it does not, or if it cannot give results in the present life. And the second karma will become defunct if it cannot give results in the next or second life. But this indefinitely effective karma will become defunct only when it has given results, or the person becomes a Buddha and Arahant and gets out of this samsara. Now, you know Angulimala, right? The Angulimala, the robber, he killed thousands of people. So he had a great store of akusala karma. But he was fortunate to meet the Buddha and became the Buddha's disciple, and then later on he became an Arahant. So when he died as an Arahant, he gets out of samsara, and so the akusala karma, the murder of many human beings, cannot give results to him. So they all become defunct karma when he died as an Arahant. Now the last one is called defunct karma. The Pali word is ahosi. Ahosi means it happened. It arose. It just arose. It does not give results. This term does not designate a special class of karma, but applies to karma that was due to ripen in either the present existence or the next existence, but did not meet conditions conducive to its maturation. So this is not a special class of karma, but when the other three do not give results in their respective periods, then they are called defunct karma. In the case of Arahants, all their accumulated karma from the past, which was due to ripen in future lives, becomes defunct with their final passing away. So sometimes when something is wasted in Burma, we say, oh, it has become a horsey karma. So there was karma, but no result of it. So these four, or this group of four, is arranged according to the time of taking effect, on the time of giving results. So the first karma gives results in this life, the second karma in the next life, and the third karma from the third until the end of samsara, and the fourth does not give results. So the fourth is just the three, but they become inoperative, or when they become defunct. Okay, these three, I told you the last time. These three sets are given here according to the Sīlānandābhivaṃsa method. Actually, it is not Abhidhamma method, these three. The last one is according to Abhidhamma, but by way of function, by way of ripening, and by the time of ripening, they are taught according to the Sīlānandābhivaṃsa method. That is why there are differences of opinions among teachers. So we covered now 12 kinds of karmas. They may overlap each other. Because productive karma and Vedic karma may be the same. Okay, now we come to the last group, that is by place of ripening. So where, in which realm they give results. So according to the realms they give results, they are divided into, again, four. So they are, number one, unwholesome karma; number two, wholesome karma pertaining to the sense sphere, kama, vajra, kama. 3. Wholesome karma pertaining to the fine material sphere, rupa, vajra, kama. And 4. Wholesome karma pertaining to the immaterial sphere, arupa, vajra, kama, or arupa, vajra, kusala. So the first one is akusala, the second one is kama, vajra, kusala, the third one rupa, vajra, kusala, and the fourth one arupa, vajra, kusala. They are arranged with respect to the place in which the effect takes place. You all know that akusala karma give results where? Mostly in 4 woeful states, as patisana, right? But as the result during life, and they may give results in human beings and devas also. And wholesome karma pertaining to the sense sphere, we will come to them later. So, by place of ripening, there are 4 kinds of karma. Now the first one, unwholesome karma. Unwholesome karma is first of 3 kinds. Bodily karma, verbal karma, and mental karma. In Pali, kaya karma, vaci karma, and mano karma. And they are divided according to what? The doors of action. We'll come to what the doors are. Here the door does not mean eye, ear, nose, and so on. Here door means a different thing. So first let us understand that there are 3 kinds of akusala karma. Kaya karma, bodily action; vaci karma, verbal action; and mano karma, mental action or mental karma. So karma done through body, karma done through speech, and karma done in mind only. So there are 3 kinds of karmas. How? Killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct are bodily actions or kaya karma, generally occurring through the door of the body, known as bodily intimation. Now, before the 6th chapter, you may not quite understand bodily intimation. Now, among the 28 material properties, there are 2 that are called intimations: bodily intimation and verbal intimation. Now, bodily intimation means just, let us say, to be simple, say movement of the body, actions of the body. And verbal intimations means speech, talking. So these 3 karmas, killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct, are done through body, the door of the body. That means done through the actions of the body. So here, dwara or door does not mean eye door, ear door, nose door, and so on. Here, the door means just the bodily intimation. Next we'll come to vaci karma, their verbal intimation. So here, bodily intimation, or just movements of the body. So killing is done by body, stealing is done by body, and sexual misconduct is done by body. Now, with regard to this karma, there are two levels of karma we should understand. The one that is just karma, and the one that becomes a full course of karma, full-fledged rebirth giving karma. Now, you know what karma is, right? Karma means volition, cetana. And since whatever we do with cetana, we say karma means deed or action. Actually, karma means the cetana. And volition is an unwholesome karma, regardless of whether or not it completes the action. But if it does reach completion of the action and achieves its aim, for example, the death of the intended victim, the appropriation of another's property, etc., then it becomes a full course of action. So, when it completes the action, for example, killing, right? So you kill a being and it is killed, it dies. So then when it dies, that karma becomes a full course of action, full-fledged karma. But you may want to kill it, and you try to kill it, but you don't kill it. Then it is karma, but not a full course of karma. So that is the difference. And you try to steal something, but you cannot steal it. So when you have stolen it and when you get another person's property, then it will become a full course of karma. So ordinary karma and full course of karma, two things. You try to steal it, and so there is stealing, but it is not full course of stealing. The characteristic of a full course of action is being a karma with the potency to take on the rebirth generating role. So when it becomes a full course of karma, it can give results as rebirth. Otherwise, it will give results in and during the life, not at relinking. You know that when we talk about results, we have to understand two kinds of results, right? Results at relinking and results during life. So results at relinking are given by the karma that has become a full course of action, a full course of karma. And in relation to action, the doors are the media through which karma is performed. The door of the body is bodily intimation, a type of mind-produced material phenomenon by which a person expresses, through the medium of the body, a volition arisen in the mind. See chapter 6, section 4. So that is just to simplify it. It means movements of the body. The expression generally occurring is used because such actions as killing and stealing can also be done by speech. So the expression generally occurring through the door of the body is used because these actions as killing and stealing can also be done by speech, by command, or by writing. Yet even in such cases, these actions are still considered bodily karma. So killing can be done by speech. You can give command to another person to kill, or you can write a letter for another person, but it is still, you can use speech, say, asking other person to kill or other person to steal, yeah, but still it is called bodily karma, because mostly these karmas are done through bodily actions. And then the next is false speech, that means lying, slandering, harsh speech and frivolous talk are verbal actions, generally occurring through the door of speech. Here also door means speech, known as vocal intimation. So by way of speech, we let other people know our intentions. So that is why it is called vocal intimation. So here also lying, backbiting or slandering, harsh speech and frivolous talk, they are evidently done through speech. But you can write something down and lie to other people. So they can be done through bodily actions also. Those such actions as false speech, etc. may also be done bodily, that is by writing or by hand signals. Because their main medium of execution is the door of speech, they are still considered verbal karma. Now, you want to scare the crows away, and so you pretend throwing a rock at them, and that is musawada. You don't throw the rock, but you pretend, say, throwing the rock at the crow so that they run away. So that is also musawada. So false speech and others can be done by bodily action also, but their main medium of execution is the speech, and so they are called speech karma, vaci karma. And then the third group, covetousness, ill will and wrong view are mental actions generally occurring only in the mind, without bodily or vocal intimation. Now, covetousness. What is covetousness? It is the mental factor of greed or lobha, arisen as the wish to acquire another person's property. Now, when we see someone using a Mercedes, we want that to be our own. Something like that. That is called abhidhammattha, covetousness. Even though greed arises for another's property, it does not become a full course of action unless one gives rise to the wish to take possession of that property. You have a strong desire, strong wish to possess that property, then it becomes covetousness. But if it is not that strong, it does not become a full course of karma. So it is not just ordinary lobha, but it is called visama lobha, unfair lobha. And the next one is vyapada, ill will, hatred. It's a mental factor of dosa, which becomes a full course of action when it arises with the wish that another being meets with harm and affliction. So may he meet with death or something like that. May danger befall him. So when you say this, it is the opposite of metta, loving kindness. So it becomes ill will, a full course of action. And then wrong view, miccha ditthi. becomes a full course of action when it assumes the form of one of the morally nihilistic views which deny the validity of ethics and the retributive consequences of action. Micchaditi. So, there are three kinds of micchaditi mentioned here, right? Three such views are mentioned in the Sutta Pitaka. The first one is called Natthikaditi, nihilism, which denies the survival of the personality in any form after death, thus negating the moral significance of deeds. That means there is no results in the future. So when we deny the future results, we also deny the present karma. So actually, they deny both karma and results. But it is said that Natthikaditi denies results. The second one is the inefficacy of action view, Akiriyaditi, which claims that deeds have no efficacy in producing results and thus invalidates moral distinctions. Now, Akiriyaditi is the one that denies causes, that denies karma. There is no karma as such that gives results, something like that. And then the last one is Ahetukaditi, a causality view, that means no cause view, which states that there is no cause or condition for the defilement or purification of beings, that beings are defiled and purified by chance, fate or necessity. And this view is said to deny both cause and effect. So when a person has taken one of these views, and when it reaches the seventh jhana, he becomes a real micchaditi. So these three, abhijja, vyapada and micchaditi, are occurring only in the mind, without bodily or vocal intimation. So they are called mano-kamma. So kaya kamma, vaci kamma and mano-kamma. How many kaya kammas? Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct. And how many vaci kamma? 4. False speech, slandering, harsh speech, frivolous talk. And how many mano-kamma? 3. Covetousness, ill will, and wrong view. Now, with regard to first one, panatipata, killing, when a person or a being is really killed, then it becomes a full course of action. Stealing, when a person steals and gets the property of another person, it becomes a full course of action. And kamesu micchachara, when a person actually commits illicit sex, then it becomes a full course of action. And musawada, false speech. Can you be free from false speech altogether? It's very, very difficult, especially in this modern society, to be 100% honest. They are called white lie, right? We often say, have a nice day or something like that. You may not mean it. Good to see you. Right? But it becomes a full course of action only when it causes some injury or loss to another person. So white lie may not become a full course of action, full course of karma. Although it is lying, it will not give relinking results. But if it causes injury to others, if it causes loss of something to others, then it becomes a full course of action. Then slandering. Slandering, I don't know what slandering means. Here, slandering, or Pali word Pisūna means dividing two people. I say something to you, bad about him, and then I say something bad about you to him, so that you two become divided. That is what is called Pisūna Vaca. Pisūna means, what do you call it? Crushing. Crushing the friendship between two people. So that is what is called Pisūna Vaca. Slandering means not Pisūna Vaca, right? You say something bad about somebody on his back, but that is not slandering. So Pisūna Vaca is done with the intention of destroying friendship between, say, two persons or two groups. Only when they become really divided is it become full course of action. If they do not become divided, it is just slandering. I mean, it is just Pisūna Vaca, but not full course of action. Parusa Vaca, harsh speech, abusive language. And only when the intention is evil does it become Parusa Vaca. That means sometimes mothers curse their children. May something bad happen to you or something like that, because they were angry at this, but in their heart they don't want anything happen to their children, right? They didn't mean it. They just say it. So that is not called Parusa Vaca. That does not amount to harsh speech, because the intention is pure, intention is good. Adversely, even though you may be smiling, but if you have a bad intention, then even though the words are soft, it is harsh speech. Like kings sentencing a criminal to death, right? Sometimes he may be laughing and say, put him to sleep or something like that. So that is Parusa Vaca. And there is a story given in the commentary that one day a mother could not control her son, and so she said, may a buffalo attack you. Then the son went out, and in the forest a real buffalo followed him. So he said, if my mother had real intention, may the buffalo hit me. If it is not, may it go away, or something like that. Then the buffalo went away. So if the intention is harsh, then it becomes harsh speech. If the intention is not harsh, it does not amount to harsh speech. And then Sampapalapa. Now, in writing about Sampapalapa, we Buddhists may not be just. You know, there are stories of Ramayana, right? And stories of Mahabharata. You know Mahabharata, right? It is for Hindus, it is an epic story. It is a real story. But Buddhist authors said they are not true. They are gossip, something like that. So whenever commentaries commented on Sampapalapa, they say, or talking like Ramayana and Mahabharata. If the Hindus knew this, they would be very angry with us. So this frivolous talk means talk of nonsense. And here also it is said that only when the other person really believes in it does it become a real sampapalapa. Sometimes you may say something to somebody but he doesn't believe it. Then it is not sampapalapa. And then the manogama, abhijja, that is when you have the real desire to possess another person's property, to make another person's property your own property, a strong desire, then it is abhijja. And if you have the strong desire that another person be killed or come to danger, then that is vyapada, and mithya, that is a wrong view. So these 10 are called 10 unwholesome or 10 akusala karma. So there can be just karma and there can be a full course of karma or action. So I think we stop here. What did you do last week? You reviewed, right?
Yes. Sarah knew brought her chart. How to study Abhidhammattha. So there were some questions that we tried to
where it talks about Natika Detis. Could you how that coincides with Anatta? It sounds almost like it's Atta.
Oh, now, according to Hindus, Buddhists are Natika deities because Buddhists do not believe in the existence of Atta. So for them, Nati means no Atta. So Buddhists call us Natika deities. But according to Buddhism, Natika means those who believe that there is no result, that there are no results of karma.
When it says survival of personality, it doesn't really mean personality.
Actually, no. I don't know where you got this explanation. Maybe he means no results or no rebirth.
Can you explain the difference between false speech and frivolous speech?
False speech is with the intention of deceiving, and also that causes injury or loss to others. Frivolous talk is just nonsense, talking about those that are not true, talking about those, talking that does not lead to any purpose. That does not lead to fewness of ones, that does not lead to practice of Dhamma. So then such talks are called sampapalapa, frivolous talk. And then in the text as well as in the commentaries, it is said there are some kinds of talk which are called animal talks. That means talk about they are called animal talks. Talk about kings. Talk about robbers or thieves. Talk about maybe politics or something like that. So all of them are classified as animal talk. But the commentaries are very understanding in this matter, because they said, although you may be talking of the king, let us say, and then in the end you say, oh, all of these have passed away now, and so things are impermanent and so on. If you conclude your talk with such observations, then they don't amount to animal talks. So you may talk about politics, and then at the end you may say all of them are impermanent.
About the indefinitely effective karma, can you give us some example of what kind of karma that would stay forever until the end of samsara?
When you do a karma, right, there are seven jhana moments. So the first jhana moment gives results here, and then the last jhana moment in the next life, and then the immediate jhana moments. Karma at the immediate jhana moments may give results. We don't know when. So let me see. Like I said, a person reborn in hell, right? And then he escaped from hell and born as a human being. So his rebirth as a human being is the result of his indefinitely effective karma in the past. Not the karma he acquired in hell, but the karma he acquired before going to hell. And the same thing can happen. A person who is reborn as a deva may be reborn as and may go to hell as a result of the indefinitely effective karma.
Mande, are the conditions of one's next birth, conditions of one's rebirth, and the conditions of one's next life the results of separate kinds of karma?
The result, I mean, the rebirth, right? The rebirth, say, let us say this life and the next life. The rebirth and next life is the result of karma in this life or in past lives.
And the overall conditions of the next life without reference to the conditions of the birth itself.
What do you mean by birth? Conception or say with regard to human beings.
Maybe I haven't thought the question through clearly enough.
Yeah. So when we say rebirth, with regard to human beings, we mean conception. So at the moment of conception, there takes place a combination of citta, consciousness, and then mental factors and material properties. So when we say rebirth, we mean those three things, and these they are the result of karma in the past.
What are the conditions for that moment of rebirth and the condition for the continuing life after that is also from the karma.
To a great extent, yes. Now, karma is so powerful that when it produces first the relinking citta, right? That relinking citta arises again and again and again and again all through the life. And also the material properties caused by karma arise every moment in this life. But when a relinking consciousness repeats itself, we no longer call it a relinking consciousness, but a bhavanga, life continuum. But actually, as you know, they are identical. We will have an occasion to talk about death and rebirth in the last chapter. Last section of this chapter.
You say the commentary to the Anguttara and the Visuddhimagga mention that from the existence which is next to this life, which is the next life. And in this book here, it's a second future existence.
Yeah, the same. Now, what is said in those commentaries is from the one life from the, it's difficult to translate in English. How do you translate Anantara? Approximate?
So next life is the first future life.
What is said there is Dittha Dhamma Nantara Bhava. That means from the life which is proximate to this life. Beginning with the life, right? Beginning with the life, which is after the proximate life to this life.
Second to next.
Right. So, Dittha Dhamma means this life, Anantara means next life, and then next after next, the third life. If it is that Dittha Dhamma, after Dittha Dhamma, it may mean the second life, right? After this life. Now what is said there is, after the proximate life to this life, that means from third life. Okay. Can somebody collect the cards?
Yes, I think we will take it back and collate it first and then bring it to the class.
Right.
Onto the Manukama, it says that in order to become a full course of action, if it's mental, you don't have to perform the action.
Right.
Just simply to acquire the other property.
Yeah.
And this
Strong desire.
and this gives result as medicine. Because it seems to me